Alright, thank you for being here, guys. I want to talk about puppy mills and how we can stand up against them by choosing to adopt. Dogs. Almost everyone loves them, and most of us have them, referred to as man's best friend for the undying loyalty and unconditional love that they give us. There's also so many dogs, almost as many types as there are people. So many shapes and sizes, so much variety. It's really hard to choose. When we get to think about dogs, the things that we choose to think about most when we tend to pick one is their looks, as well as their age. So when you go to a pet store where they're selling puppies of specific breeds, it seems like the logical step to get your dog. However, this is where choosing your dog could get messy. For what seems like it could be a simple addition to your family, is actually an action which supports a terrible exploitative industry where puppies are treated as cash crops, where welfare and the happiness of dogs are tossed aside for profits. I'd like to point out why we must end all support for businesses that choose to support dog mills, and tell you how you can get dogs from a place with a humane background and let them become one of your own family members. Most pet stores are supplied with puppies from puppy mills, and most pet stores only sell puppies because that's the most logical thing to sell profit-wise for consumers. The pet stores where you find dogs for sale, both online and in the physical locations, are supplied by puppy mills, according to the Humane Society. And a puppy mill is pretty much a large commercial facility where dogs are bred for their puppies and then they're sold. And the highest concentration of them inside the U.S. is in the Midwest states, according to the Humane Society. And a study from Penn State University revealed that puppy mill dogs have a higher risk for behavioral problems as adults. In every instance of bad behavior and aggression were significantly higher in puppy mill dogs compared to ones raised in shelters, even when neutered. And as well, you can't verify if a dog from a pet store was actually supplied by a puppy mill or not. They often use deceptive tactics and lack of consumer knowledge to pass their dogs off as being from decent owners or breeders. Responsible dog breeders normally would deal directly with a buyer and not go through a pet store. The breeders who truly care about breeding dogs and where they end up would screen their potential customers before letting them purchase one, and normally would not sell it to a pet store because then they get resold to anyone who has money. As well, there's also ridiculous prices, ranging from the low hundreds to the thousands. These dogs are priced high for maximum profits. It may seem silly to be so opposed to puppy mills. Sure, you get purebred dogs and they make puppies, so you get young dogs guaranteed. So what could be so bad about them? Well, there's a number of reasons why puppy mills are viewed as cruel and why so many people want them to be eliminated. From inhumane conditions to morally questionable practices, here's why we should not support the puppy mill industry. They are exploitative, and to be frank, they're an industry that runs off the forced breeding and neglect of the very animals that they need for their profits. They force breeding with dogs, and female dogs spend their whole lives being bred out until they are no longer of use and then they are put down. And the puppies are often taken away from their mothers while they're still very, very young, up to 6 weeks of age, and they never get to bond with their mothers as well. The conditions are also often overcrowded, and the dogs are living in wire cages their whole lives, and they're often stacked on top of each other, so feces and urine can fall onto the dogs under them. Little to no regard is given to the dog's welfare. They're left in wire cages their whole lives, not provided with veterinary care, often malnourished, and abandoned or killed when they're no longer considered worth keeping. The most logical choice for getting a dog, at least for those who truly love and appreciate dogs, would be to choose to get one from a pound or a shelter. A true dog lover would choose to get their dog from a system that is good for the dogs, not a system that exploits them for profits. This is why we should consider adoption when we choose to get a dog. well, it's also good for the dogs because you won't be supporting the exploitative commercial dog breeding industry. The demand for dogs will be lowered, which means that the puppy mills will cease to be as profitable, so they'll stop making them as long. You'll receive a new dog and give it a new loving life that it didn't have before. Adoption of older dogs allows them to live out their lives as opposed to being euthanized in shelters because they are not being adopted. And adoption fees also contribute to the upkeep of shelters, supporting them with money as well as allowing more resources to be directed towards supporting the dogs who are still in shelters. And in addition to benefiting the dogs already in pounds and shelters, there's also perks for the humans as well, where we choose to adopt a companion. From personal gratification to lower prices, adoption does more than just help our furry friends out. Adoption is good for people too. Adopting a dog is inexpensive compared to buying a dog from a store. The adoption fees are considerably lower than the prices from a puppy mill, and the price in the fee also includes the sterilization of the dogs and sometimes microchipping as well. Less dogs in shelters means that there's less cost to taxpayers because there'll be less resources directed towards the shelters because there'll be less need for them. Dogs that are adopted from shelters are usually more well socialized and housebroken because they're allowed to socialize with dogs as opposed to puppy mill dogs, which don't get social attraction at all. And they also provide profiles for the dogs so you get to see their tendencies and qualities without having to guess a random dog. And you also get to help the creature live its life as opposed to living in a shelter or being euthanized because no one wants it. There's so many dogs in this world, and there are many that are stuck in shelters, unsure of their futures. I don't want this to become an ASPCA commercial, but I urge you to consider adoption when you decide to get another furry friend. You'll be standing up to the cruel puppy milling industry, save yourself the taxpayers' money, and see more resources for other sheltered dogs. And more importantly, you'll make a difference in a dog's life. Thank you.